This is Life Transformation Radio. Prepare to engage. Seatbelt activated. Download initiated. Your quantum journey of transformation begins in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to Life Transformation Radio. Hi, I'm Rob Actis, best-selling author of The Law of Action, voice actor, business mindset coach, the podcast whisperer, and Mr. Action himself. Life Transformation Radio is heard in over 90 countries. Thank you for joining us today from all around the world. Whether it's your first time joining us or you've been listening to Life Transformation Radio for some time, I want to personally thank you. Here at Life Transformation Radio, we are committed to share more about real life, love, the power of positivity, romance, and of course, laughter. We care about helping others find their internal drive and purpose. We celebrate life's challenges and overcoming them. Please rate and review Life Transformation Radio on your favorite podcast platform. Also, a personal invitation from me to you. Please join us on Facebook in the Life Transformation Radio community. On the show, my guests are amazing people who are forces for good in the world around them and live a life of transformation. My guests today do just that. Today, Janet and Lorin Zitting and I discuss the dynamic of change and human emotions. If you want to change the way you look at things, understand how our emotional body can affect our physical body, and with these emotional feelings, we can experience the pure essence of life. Remember who we truly are? This is the show for you. Janet may be 5'1", but she is huge. She lives with her heart on her sleeve with a big spirit. She says it like it is, but is very kind and loving. She comes from a religious background with 44 siblings. Yeah, 44. She left that religion about 9 years ago to follow her heart on what she truly desires. And Lorin is a mindset mentor, emotional translation and integration, narrative recognition and transformation, manifesto awareness and diminishing doubt, self-connection, romantic relationships, and deep work. Man. Janet, Lorin, welcome to Life Transformation Radio.
Thank you, Rob.
Hi, thank you so much. Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. You guys are...
We're stoked to be here with you.
Well, glad to be here, and we're so cool. We have an audience here. We're on Clubhouse, and it always makes it fun to have an audience because it kind of puts me in a mode of like, oh man, I better perform because I have friends in the audience. And, you know, usually you can do a podcast and you can edit and edit and edit, and this is not good at editing. So as it is, it is. So welcome, welcome, welcome. So glad to have you here. I heard you speaking in a room on Clubhouse, and I just fell in love with you both. I loved your story, and wow, I just love your energy. And it's pretty impressive to have your energy be picked up by a photograph and your voice. So really glad to have you here today.
Honestly, that's been something that's kind of baffled us on Clubhouse because we hear this over and over again. I mean, we know that we have a good relationship, but it is kind of baffling that people can just pick that up from our voice and our pictures.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. I love that about Clubhouse, and I love that about the voice. I'm all about the voice. I'm all about audio. And it's interesting because I think sometimes when you have video and audio, you get distracted by all the movement on the video. With Clubhouse, you can really tune in and dial into the essence of the person talking. And that's what I did for you guys. I just thought you were fabulous. So welcome, welcome, welcome. So let's just talk about this right now. You left a religion and you have 44 siblings. Why don't you just like set us up for that story, and then we'll talk about the transformation of where you are today and where you were in the past.
Yeah. So in this religion, it was pretty controlling. Like growing up, it was kind of almost like raising me to have a placement marriage from the leaders of the religion, saying it was from God and stuff. And polygamy too is my parents and family just believed that we lived polygamy so that they could it's a way to get keys to get into heaven. So that's how I was raised. And as I was getting older, I just remember like looking around and really tapping into if this was something that I really wanted. And I started to learn that it's not something that I wanted. I wanted to live my life on my terms, not other people's terms. And I realized I was only in the religion to make my parents happy. So when I really started questioning it, I'm 27 now. So I was about 17 when I was questioning it. And then 19, I'll say, when I 100% fully realized, nah, it's definitely not for me.
Wow.
And that's when I kind of started diving into personal development and going to conventions and stuff on personal development. And that really helped me dive into it and on my mindset too.
So when you're in that environment, are you able to have extra input, like personal development? Are you restricted by the content that you have that's available to you? And did you have to really just declare? Because if you don't know, you don't know. But apparently you knew that there was something other than what you were in, and you decided to pursue that.
Yeah, we're definitely restricted with the content because they believe only read the books in the religion. Because, of course, it's like if you're going to expand your mind, then you're going to leave the religion.
Yeah. So we talked. So just the 500-pound elephant in the room, just give a little more insight of what exactly this was. It was a polygamist religion, and there was a lot of how could I put it? I won't say mind control, but there was a lot of, what would be the word they would say? Indoctrination? Would that be?
Yeah, that's a good word for it. There's a lot of narratives that are very, from birth, they're basically programmed into you to follow. And just like Janet says, you're going to read from the prescribed books because the other books, they're not sure if they're safe because the information could be coming from the devil or from, an evil source or something like that.
An outsider.
Right.
It's not really what's inside the religion. Yeah.
Now, Lorin, were you also in that religion?
So it was a little bit different for me because my family joined when I was in third grade. And so sitting in church and stuff, I remember hearing, the Holy Ghost is here and stuff, and just thinking, I don't know what they're talking about. This just feels weird to me. I don't like this kind of feeling, And so me leaving was a little bit different, whereas Janet was born into it. I kind of, even as a third grader, I don't exactly know what age that was. I just remember I started third grade when my family joined the community. It just wasn't resonating with me, And so when I grew up, it's like, all right, yeah, I've gained more and more clarity as I got older, and I just, it just was never for me, if that makes sense.
Is that kind of like where free will kicks in? So you know what you know, and you know what you don't know. However, you were pursuing the stuff that you didn't know because it felt incongruent. Would that be accurate?
I could actually get kind of specific. So I joined a work mission, and they have a little bit different mission. So they're not going out and preaching to people similar to like what the mainstream Mormon church would be doing. It's more of dedicating some years of my life to working on the community and serving. Well, I noticed that there was a lot of my mates that were being very hypocritical. So they'd show up to meeting and show up to the work mission, but then they would, which you're not allowed to drink, you're not allowed to do these things, you're not allowed to date, but then they're doing all those things on the side. So I realized that there's a big difference between what they're pretending to be doing and what they're actually doing. And that was kind of like what turned me off, because I didn't feel like I was being productive in my life. I felt like it was a big waste of time happening.
Wow.
And so I'm a very productive person, and I'm very expansive. I'm a manifester. I've got a massive amounts of energy, and I'm an inventor, and you can just see how somebody like me can't just sit still.
Absolutely. All right.
And so it just occurred to me. Oh,
no, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, it just occurred to me that all of the things I was doing was basically to please my parents and to please others. It wasn't for me. And that made it pretty clear for me that I wasn't meant to stay.
Absolutely. Now, these are fringe groups or breakaway groups from the Mormon, the LDS. Is that accurate?
Yes, because they wanted to keep polygamy alive. Right? So their belief is that you can't get into heaven without living polygamy, essentially.
Right. So yeah, I just wanted to clarify that. Just it's not Mormon, it's not LDS, it's a fringe that actually is still in, as of probably 2021, polygamy. And the definition of polygamy, just so I don't have to just guess, what would be the definition of polygamy?
I would say fundamentalist Mormon.
Okay, got it.
So fundamentalist Mormon means that it means they're keeping to the fundamental, beginnings, right? Where there was polygamy back in the Mormon church. But polygamy means a husband and multiple wives.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's a whole other conversation. It's funny. I was in a room on Clubhouse and they were talking about polygamy, and there were some women in the room. It was kind of funny. And they're like, so how about one woman and then multiple husbands? And it was interesting because there was a guy who believed in polygamy and he's like, yeah, no, that's not going to happen. And so it was just interesting how that is. But like I said, it's a whole nother conversation, but I just wanted to give some background of where you guys are from. So you left that. Now, did you know each other then?
No.
You just always meant to be together. Like, how cool is that?
Yeah, exactly. It's like the universe gave us little introductions. Like we had seen each other at certain points in our life, but we never interacted with each other.
Wow.
Until actually Janet and I both started to work on ourselves years after we had been out. And then when I was, like in my life, it was like when I finally was, there was something inside me that says I'm ready. And I didn't exactly know what that was, but I was done with all of the past relationships I was having that were settles and that weren't working. It's like I was saying I'm ready for the real thing. And then boom, Janet showed up in my life that week.
That's very cool. And it's funny. So if you're in Clubhouse, go ahead and click on their profile and just look at them. I know in these fundamentalist religions, the polygamists that I've seen in Utah when I visited, they have a very specific outside of dress. So the way they dress and the way they carry themselves are very not refined, but I would say confined and sheltered. Would that be, and modest? Would that be the accurate statement?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I love it because you both have, like, if you told me and I saw a picture of you and say, yeah, I used to belong in a polygamist group, wow, because you don't look like it at all. You look like someone who would be very spiritual and karma and the universe. And then you, Lorin, with your long flowy hair and your mustache and just like, just that look. It's so different. So it's interesting how you guys transition. So did your appearance, your outward appearance, change as you developed into more spiritual and manifestational and awareing and, all of that, the soul connection? Did that, when you did the deep work, did that change your appearance? And not just the clothes. I know your clothes definitely changed, but did all of a sudden, were you like a butterfly that just started to blossom and like, hey, I need to wear less modest clothes. I need to be more flowy and free flowing and just wondering.
Yes,
I got to say, I think we were in the cocoon phase for way more years than we had been in the butterfly phase. So much growth, so much coming to awareness. I remember the first time I put on shorts feeling super, super uncomfortable.
Yeah, even me putting on short sleeves, like uncomfortable. It was interesting, but now it's like I'll rock a crop top and everything. It's just feels nice to not feel I have to go in the store and I'm limited on what I can buy when I'm in a clothes store. Feels nice to have so many options now instead of looking for clothes that went to my my neck and my wrists and stuff. So my clothing and how I express myself has definitely changed. It's definitely a lot brighter.
And I would imagine your self-worth changed as well.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, it wasn't just a matter of morals. The moral problem, I kind of got over pretty quick. as the creative person that I am, so I design and I help inventors. So I help take their idea and make it become a reality. That's something I've done for a lot of years. That's the type of person that I am. I'm a creator, and I create things that don't exist yet. And so I rely on sunshine. That's like one of the things. If I don't get sunshine, that creative flow goes away. And so we actually still live near the community currently that we grew up in. And I'm walking around with my shirt off. I'm walking down the streets, and like in my mind, it's like, I know this might make some of you uncomfortable, but y'all need sunshine, and I need my sunshine, you know?
Well, yeah, we made it less about what other people think and just decided to live our life regardless, because if other people are feeling a certain way, it has nothing to do with us. It just has to do with what they're feeling, and we're just a mirror reflecting that for them.
I love it. So one of the things is, I would imagine that when you had your butterfly moment, you know, we talk about how your emotional body can affect your physical body. So how different is your health and your zest for life now that you have done that deep work and you are where you're supposed to be? Like, you know that you're in the lane that you're supposed to be in. And I would imagine that you have a sense of peace in that, what you've discovered.
I would love to hear Janet first, because I would love to go into this a little bit.
Yeah, well, this is really cool to talk about recently, because we just got off 75 hard. Have you heard of that?
Yeah, hold on. I gotta do applause. That's amazing. So I'm thrilled for you, and I'm mad at you. So I have tried, I have made many attempts to do 75 hard. And I have when my friends are listening to this, they will know. They wouldn't all agree, because every single one of them, they're like, okay, but I don't want to drink a gallon of water. I'm going to drink like a half a gallon. And I'm not going to do exercise 45 minutes 2 times a day. I'm going to do it 30 minutes a day. And I'm not going to, and I'm like, that's not the point.
Not 75 hard.
No. And the reason it's called 75, it's 75 days. And it should be 75. Oh my God, this is so freaking hard. I don't know if I'm ever going to get over through this. Did you guys both complete it?
Yes, we did.
Okay.
And came very close to messing up, but we didn't have to start over even once.
And the thing is that people don't realize that 75 hard is not about dieting. It's not about exercising. It is about deep work on your brain and how strong you really are. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
I 100%
exactly.
agree.
Like, we are not exaggerating when we tell people that it's been life-changing. It has been so life-changing.
Of course it is. Oh my God. You know, it's amazing. So I'm the narrator for Hal Elrod's The Miracle Morning audiobook, if you didn't know that. And I will tell you that the Miracle Morning Challenge, which is 30 days of getting up 1 hour that you're dedicating to yourself, and you're going to do the savers, which is scribing, and you're going to do exercise, you're going to do your meditation and all the other things of the savers, and you're going to do that for 30 days straight. I tell you what, that's like 75 hard. It is amazing. But what happens is you discover who you really are. And when you get right with your mental and emotional body, your physical body changes.
Mm-hmm.
I agree 100%. In fact, Rob, thank you for bringing that up. I heard about the Miracle Morning years and years ago. I'm going to do that. That's something I really want in my life.
Oh, you should. Now, the book, you know, you could read the book, but otherwise you go to Audible and you could look up the Miracle Morning, and I'll read it for you. Just saying. I'm just saying. That's all I can say.
Yes.
So, you know, not to digress.
Well, I may have heard your voice already then.
Oh, you might have. Well, yeah, I do a lot of.
To it.
I do a lot. You have listened to it? That would have been me. That was the guy. Oh, yeah. There you go. So,
hey, good to see you.
I know. I will tell you, and it's funny because I always talk about this. We start talking about the Miracle Morning. I digress, but my most favorite book of the Miracle Morning. So there's the Miracle Morning, which is about 4.5 hours long. Then there's the Miracle Morning series, which they dive into different topics. There's one for parents and families. There's relationships. Amazing books. There's one for teachers. There's one for college students. There's one for real estate. There's one for addicts in recovery by Joe Polish and Hal Elrod. It's amazing. My favorite absolute favorite. I got to get him on Life Transformation Radio. Is David Osborne, Miracle Morning Millionaire. Not the Miracle Morning for Millionaires. It's Miracle Morning Millionaire. It's the Miracle Morning book. Okay. On top of that is the Millionaire. And it's really all about mindset. And he's just such a cool guy. It's my most favorite. I actually, of all the books that I've voiced and narrated, that was the easiest, simplest, flowy book ever. It was co-written by Honoré Corder. Great freaking book. I love that. Of all the books, they're all good. All the books in the series. And it's just amazing the power of the Miracle Morning and how getting right with your mind will transform your life. So 75 Hard, the Miracle Morning, all of that. You know, people tend to work on the outside when it's all about the inside. Everybody wants to like, oh man, I gotta work on my outside body. No, it's your inside body that shows your outside body. It's amazing that way.
Mm-hmm. So real.
So true.
That's so real too. It's like reminds me too of back a few years ago. I trained for my first marathon in just 10 weeks, and I've never ran more than a few miles. And it was way more of a mental thing than a physical thing. Once I decided to do it mentally, then I was able to do the race. And it's so similar with how 75 Hard went as well.
It's people like you, Janet, that I just really don't like because you make me feel like I should be doing more in my life. And I'm like, I don't run. Right. I was just asked to climb Mount Kilimanjaro. And I'm like, I think I'd die because I don't, I can't even run a marathon. How am I going to climb the second tallest mountain in the world? But it's really a mindset. Everything we do is mindset. And our brain is so powerful and controlling. It's unbelievable. However, when you get in the flow, when you get in that zone, oh man. So congratulations on doing that marathon. Really
Thank you.
Incredible. Now, what have you done, Lorin? Have you done anything amazing like that or just 75 Hard?
Well, our hike Nanko Week.
Oh yeah, we did the most dangerous or the most intense hike in the Grand Canyon when we were not fit, and we actually our friends invited us to do it. We didn't notice that that's what it was until we were at the trailhead, and it's like we didn't know if we were going to die.
Wikipedia is like, this is considered to be the most dangerous trail in the Grand Canyon. Just so you know, on Google. And we're like, oh shit.
Oh my God.
I got to say.
All right, Janet, Lorin, thank you so much for being here. I'm embarrassed. I don't want you on my show anymore. I feel like totally embarrassed. No, I'm just like, I got to wrap this up. I feel like I've done nothing. I have flown in a flying trapeze. That was kind of impressive to myself. It was definitely fun, but that's amazing. And it's so cool that you do that because it inspires me to do other stuff. So, and I hope it inspires other people that are listening either in this room or are listening in this podcast because you've proven that it can be done. That's the whole thing about life is that you're proving that it can be done. I just had Sean Schwarmer on last week on Life Transformation Radio. Check this out, and I'm going to make you feel like I felt, okay? He has done Mount Kilimanjaro, climb Mount Everest, Mount Kilimanjaro. He's actually there right now on Mount Kilimanjaro, and he's done the Ironman in Hawaii, and he's been to both poles in the world. Pretty impressive, right?
Damn.
Okay, wait, there's more. He has fought cancer twice. He was in a medically induced coma for a year. Oh, and one of his cancers cost him his lung. So he did all of this after all of that.
What?
Oh my God, wow.
So I don't feel so bad now, but that's amazing. Well, actually I feel worse, but hopefully you guys feel a little worse with me of what you're able to accomplish. But no, I think it's great. And so what I do is I do a 100-day or a 30-day 100 push-up challenge. And I'm doing that right now. I was doing it with my friend Ron, my very dear friend and neighbor. And he never started. I'm mad at him. So you have to do 100 push-ups. And it's like,
I've heard of this.
100 hard. So you start out and you do 100 push-ups. Now, I will tell you that when I started, I couldn't do 100, full push-ups. And I still can't do 100 full push-ups. But here's how you do it. So it's kind of cool, I'll share with everybody, is that you have 30 days very similar to 75 hard. And you don't have to do 100, like 1, 2, 3 to 100. Okay. You can do it over like 10 minutes or so, go brush your teeth, but you want to have that mindset of that I did 100 push-ups. You can even do modified push-ups. I think back before it would have been considered misogynistic, they were girl push-ups. We'll call them modified push-ups because I do them so they could be modified. They could be any kind of push-ups, but where you use your knees. So you start out doing that, and then you start doing more and more and more. And so I can do probably 50 real push-ups now. And that's amazing because when
Rob,
I started,
congratulations.
Well, thanks. When I started like 3 weeks ago, I couldn't do, because I'd been a while since I'd worked out. I'm like, oh my God, I can't even do like 2 push-ups. I'm so embarrassed.
Look how much you can change in just a few weeks' time when you commit to something. That's incredible.
Oh yeah. My wife saw me. She goes, are you working out? And I go, yes, I am. It's kind of nice. That was good. And so the way it works is like 75 hard, you commit to doing 100 push-ups and you can brush your teeth. And I use a thing called Tabata. So I do like 10. I usually do like 2 minutes or probably a minute of push-up, maybe 2 minutes of push-ups. And then I break. And then if I'm really tired, I'll do another 2 minutes of laying on the floor going, please don't die. Please don't die. And then, but you have to get to 100 and it's only you that know it. And if you don't get to 100 push-ups, the clock resets and you do 100 push-ups for 30 more days. So,
oh my God.
I recently didn't complete my 100 and that was 3 days ago. And so now I'm back on day 4 today. So I have to restart. I was on day like 18, I think it was. And
man, so close. That's my brother with 75 hard. He was on day 50 and he missed something and he started over on day 1.
And you know what? You don't have to do that. I don't have to restart my 30 days and go, no one knows. No one can see me. But the problem is, you know, and that's the power of 75 hard is because it's your brain. And if you go look on the website, you can see people that have done their, like, you watch them. Oh my God, I'm on like day 69 or day 70. And she's like, I didn't do it. I just couldn't get my gallon of water down and I have to start over. And I'm like, oh my God, I would have done it. But would you have done anything to drink that water? You know, that's the whole thing. It's just so amazing. The impact of the mindset of our brains. And you know, you guys talked about this is the essence of life and really digging down deep to find out who you are. After you completed 75 hard, I bet you realize like, Lorin, we're rock stars. And you're like, yes, Janet, we are rock stars because it's pretty impressive. It's pretty impressive. And when you're different and you do things that are different, you're different. Like when you make a shift in your life, you go left instead of always going right, the path of your life is going to be different. So what has happened
Rob,
since you've done it? I got
to tell you something. I got to tell you what powered me through, and that's going to answer the question too. What made me decide to do 75 hard is I wanted something that didn't only change my habits, but took long enough that I forgot what it was like where I was at. I forgot how I was. So it's truly a transformation.
That is a powerful statement. Like that is a powerful statement. So since you did that, has your life transformed? What has happened?
Absolutely.
It's been amazing.
Go ahead, Janet.
No, you go on, babe. You were talking.
So one of the major things is mental clarity, consistent mental clarity.
Yeah.
And also Janet and I, we're not on 75 hard anymore, but we're doing all the things still. Other than once in a while, if we feel like it, we'll eat a piece of dessert. If we feel like it, we'll have a beer. You know?
Now you're making me feel even worse. Now you're making me feel worse. That's amazing. No, that's super cool. That's pretty cool. Most people that do it, once they hit the 75, they're done. They don't continue. Yeah, so that says a lot about you.
Talking about the miracle morning.
Yeah.
You talking about the miracle morning. I wanted to say too, there's 3 things that I want to say about 75. Now we're challenge addicts. now we want something that's like a challenge, that's like just like that, you know, that's like something that we're doing every day, almost seeing it as a challenge. And the other thing I wanted to say about 75 Hard is, if you don't listen to the podcast, you're not going to have that intense guy's voice in the back of your head saying, that's not fucking 75 hard.
Right. Well, I know a lot of people that are doing modified 75 hard. I have a few friends that are doing modified 75 hard. I go, that's not 75 hard. The whole point is the mindset of doing. I will tell you one thing, and I want to find this out. I challenge you both to do the Miracle Morning 30-day life transformation challenge. I guarantee you, it sounds very simple. All you got to do is, you're going to get up in the morning and you're going to do 1 hour just for you. And here's the crazy thing about it is, it's really difficult. If you're not a morning person, especially when I started doing the Miracle Morning. So when I started narrating the Miracle Morning, I used to get up at like 12:30 or 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I'd get up at 7 o'clock in the morning and say in a very, groggy way, goodbye to my daughter for school. And then I'd see her when she got home. But I'd be a late person. I was up really, really late. And during the book, I'm like, well, this is kind of cool. Maybe I should try this, because I don't know, there's really kind of a cool stuff going on, And sure enough, I did it. And I became a morning person. I mean, all you have to do is, so the savers, you have to do silence, like meditation or prayer. You have to do your affirmations, like, all of your affirmations for the day. And then you visualize for V. Exercise, you can do 10 minutes of exercise. It could be jumping jacks. It could be yoga. It could be swimming. It doesn't matter. You're going to read. And the power of that is that you're going to read for 10 minutes. So imagine if there's 365 days of a year. If you read 10 pages a day of personal development, that would be 3,650 pages of personal development a year. How different would your life be? Would it be transformed? I'm saying yes. And then the last is scribing, and you're just going to write or journal, and that's what you do. And you do it 1 hour before you would normally wake up. So it's your time. You start today with intention and purpose. It tells you how to go to bed with intention and how to wake up with intention. And I've been doing it for many years, ever since the Miracle Morning. It's almost 8 years now. And my life is beyond my wildest dreams. I can't believe it. It's just so powerful. This is so much confirmation for us, because we've been talking about us wanting to get up earlier and making that a goal. So you just bringing it up is a huge confirmation for me. Oh, and I love challenging
and writing
people.
Every day.
Yeah.
And here's every day.
Yeah, so the 30-day challenge, so I want to be clear, because I get people calling me out on this. They go, so every day for 8 years you've woken up and you've did 10 minutes of this and 10 minutes of that? No. You can modify your Miracle Morning after you've done the 30-day transformation challenge, and you can do as little as 5 minutes or even 1 minute. I've been in a time, but it's the mindset of like, I'm going to do my savers today. It's so, so important. It's incredible. And I'm super excited. I tell you what, I want you guys to, when you start it, I want you guys to come back. We're going to have to do a show on the savers on Life Transformation Radio, because it is so powerful. And I would love to hear what is accomplished in your mind and your heart and your soul and everything around you. And you've got all kinds of great stuff going on. Like, you have your microgreens business. Now, when did you start that?
So Lorin started it, I would say, right when COVID started. He is the one who was diving into that, and then I was able to join him later on. So, babe, I think you should dive into that.
Yeah, I was actually hitting the restroom, so I muted my mic. And
we're live here on Clubhouse.
Drinking that water. When you're drinking that much water, you gotta go.
I know, you gotta go, and that's perfect. It's all good. That's all good. So, is microgreens what they create greens for the restaurants? Is that what microgreens are?
Yeah, and they're up to 40 times as nutritious as a full-grown vegetable. So, we have a single product that's a mix, and it's broccoli, peas, radish, rutabaga, and buckwheat. And so each of those, they're basically the phase after a sprout. And in that phase, they're at their most nutritional phase of their entire life. And it's up to 40 times as nutritious as the full-grown vegetable. So it's like super nutritious.
Now, is this like a powder, a pill, a potion, a lotion?
It's a sprout. So it's like a lot of restaurants use them as garnishes.
Right.
But we've kind of marketed them as like, you should eat this to be healthier.
I got all jazzed up. I'm like, I want some of those. That's what I was hoping. I'm like, is it a powder? Bring it out, because I'll put it in my smoothie. I'll just drink it. I'm just like, yeah. But
you can find them. A lot of people grow microgreens.
Well,
where are you located?
I'm in Gilbert, Arizona.
Gilbert, Arizona.
I bet I can
That's
find
a big city. It's going to be in a grocery store somewhere.
Oh, well, there you go. I'm looking up microgreens. I'm writing it down. It's so cool. 75 hard. Yeah, maybe in another lifetime. And microgreens. Okay, perfect. All right. So you started in COVID, which is really very admirable. A lot of people reinvented themselves during this pandemic. And so you started this microgreen business. Well, and tell me about it.
I've always been I had always, for some reason, had a weird fascination with it. Like I saw a YouTube video or something, and I just got this excitement. And then when COVID hit, it gave me an excuse to get to work on it, because it's like, I'm not going to get the nutrition I need out of water grown or hydroponically grown spinach and power greens. It's like, I want something more. And so I started growing them for myself. And then I saw my shelf and I was like, I want 2 shelves. I want 3 shelves. And Janet's looking at me sitting on the floor with dirt all over our kitchen floor, making these makeshift trays. And she's like, what are you doing? It's 3:00 in the morning. Why are you working so hard? And I looked up at her and I was like, oh my God, I didn't even realize that I was working. And it just hit me that, like, when you're doing what you're meant to do, there's this sense of fulfillment that comes through. That's a really good indicator of knowing you're in line with your purpose.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And then the shelves grew. Then we have a greenhouse, and then I wanted to keep. This vision in my mind. I want it to look like this. I want it to look like this. And I just tuned it up. And within a year, we have a profitable microgreens business, and we have like 15 different restaurants and grocery stores that we're selling through.
That's really, congratulations. That's a wonderful thing. It is so true. So I just purchased Life Transformation Radio, and I took over on April 1st. And my wife, it took a while to build it up. We rebranded it and we changed our position a little bit and really put a lot of thought into how we were going to take it to the next level. And it was amazing because she's like, oh my God, you've done all this work. And then now you're going to have to actually do the interviews with all these people. I'm like, oh, that's my joy. That's my joy. Mm-hmm. It's when you're in your lane and you're doing your purpose and you're in flow. Wow, life. And if your life is a lot of friction and not working right, you may want to look at changing and making a difference, because life is so short and so precious. And one of the things I love about both of you is that you're bold, you're go-getters, you're challenge takers, because now you're going to do the Miracle Morning 30-Day Life Transformation Challenge. Super excited about that. Like how I threw that in. And you have a profitable business. You're living in Utah right now. Aren't you in Utah right now? Yeah.
We're right on the border of Utah and Arizona.
Okay. Yep. So you're either in Arizona or Utah, but you're somewhere up there. And now, and like I said, if you're in Clubhouse, look at their profile pictures and go, where would they look like they live? I was going to think like Bali, or, the St. Thomas, the Virgin Islands, somewhere in the Caribbean, or maybe Hawaii. And so another transformation is happening in your life, and you guys are moving to Hawaii. Tell me more.
Yeah, we are so stoked about this. We've just been feeling, Janet, I want to pass the mic to you, but I really want to say something really quick.
Oh, go ahead, babe. I'm just feeling like the Hawaii. I didn't have anything to say. I'm just feeling all the emotions.
Oh, no, this is about it. So the 75 hard, I know that you deal with a lot of people, Rob, and you feel people's energies, and I'm sure that you've experienced this as well. But with our bodies becoming this healthy, I feel the energetic capacity to empathically help way more people. I feel like a warrior that when these energies attach, it's so easy for me to detach them and ground myself between the different things that we're doing. And so that is huge, huge, huge. If you're an empath listening, that's huge. If you get this physical body ready to have the bandwidth and capacity, and you'll be amazed at the amount of energy that can flow through you.
Yep,
and this is what we're
so true.
Yeah, I can totally relate because I had a blood clot a couple years ago, and I had no ability for intuition, or I didn't even think I was in any way empathic, and I could feel energy and all this stuff. But something happened, I'm just going to say, and my life is, I used to call this all the woo-woo stuff, and now I'm in the woo-woo stuff. I mean, here, I own Life Transformation Radio, and we talk about all kinds of really fun stuff. I mean, we have people that have communicated with Archangel Michael, and I'm like, that's amazing. We had numerologists. We had people that read. I have a lady coming on. I'm trying to get her. She was on, and I was on her podcast. It's amazing. She reads the lines on your hands. It's not palm reading. It's line reading. And fascinating. She knew so much about me and didn't know anything about me. And it's not stuff that would have been on social media. And it's like when you open your mind. And so if you're listening to this show right now, it's a sign from the universe that there's more to come. Because as you open up your third eye, your heart center, whatever you are, you'll start all of a sudden, the universe takes note and magic is going to happen around you. People are going to come into your life that you never in a million years thought would happen. Opportunity is going to come into your life. Relationships. It's just so beautiful if you will just find your lane and get into flow and trust the process.
Surrender to the process. So real.
Yes. Spot on.
Well,
and this is actually why I believe we're feeling called to Hawaii, because I'm actually able to read people's energies. I like over Clubhouse. That's what we do in our room. I'll pick up on what's becoming priority for people, like what energy is causing resistance and stagnation in their body. And that's why I have to ground so much, because my ability to see is actually kind of resonating with it a bit. So then I have to ground myself and remove the resonation so that I can keep thriving. And I think that's why we're being called to Hawaii, because it's a very, very grounding place.
Yes.
And so we can do expansive in our work that we're doing.
Love Hawaii. I think you guys are going to be incredible on Hawaii. And I want to thank you so much for being here today. If you want to reach out to Lorin or Janet, you can reach Janet at Manifest More Magic or Lorin Zitting on Instagram. I'll have the links in the show notes, but Lorin, Janet, thank you so much for being here today. It was great. It was just a fun conversation. I had no destination. It was just going to be a journey, and the journey was magical. So thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for having us.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Rob. We really appreciate this opportunity. It's really fun talking to you, too.
Well,
I'm excited to... So is it the Miracle Morning Millionaire?
The Miracle Morning Millionaire
book.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And ladies and gentlemen, including my very special friends right here in the audience in Clubhouse, thank you so much for your support and taking time out of your busy and precious day to listen. I so appreciate it. Thank you for allowing me, along with my very special guests, to touch your heart, move your soul, and inspire you to live a life of transformation. I'm Rob Actis. Until next time.
This is Life Transformation Radio. Download complete.